Victorian London. We remember the killer in the fog, but the real danger was far wider and much older than Jack the Ripper. While the Ripper case became famous, the truth is, London was already dangerous long before 1888, especially for the poor. Jack the Ripper became the national obsession and the face of Victorian danger, but he was only a symptom of a city already broken for its poorest residents. For a poor person, the danger was constant. It was in the water you drank, the crowded streets, the room you slept in, and the desperate work you did just to survive. In the early 1800s, London grew too fast. People poured in from villages and other countries, all seeking work the city couldn't handle. The rapid influx of people overwhelmed the infrastructure, leading to severe crowding and unsustainable living conditions. Rooms became packed, streets filthy, and children grew up surrounded by crime and sickness. If you were poor, there was no safety net to catch you. One of the biggest dangers in Victorian London was not a person, but the very substance necessary for life: water. In 1854, the Soho cholera outbreak saw people dying near Broad Street. Dr. John Snow discovered the disease was spread by a contaminated water pump, showing the link between waste and death. It was a huge, shocking moment. London itself was helping spread death, as people unknowingly drank water mixed with their own waste. In 1858, the River Thames smelled so foul that Parliament could barely work, a crisis known as the Great Stink, forcing the city to act on its waste problem. This terrible smell was proof that London's waste problem had reached its limit, but tragically, action only came quickly once the powerful people were directly affected. Engineer Joseph Bazalgette built London's monumental sewer system, saving the city from continuous disease and marking a pivotal moment in public health. Jack the Ripper was not the cause of Victorian London's danger. He was merely a horror walking through a city already crippled by neglect. Places like Whitechapel became symbols of fear, not because the people were evil, but because they were trapped by terrible housing, crowded streets, and desperate poverty. The victims of the Ripper were poor women, struggling to survive, and forced to dangerous means to earn money for food or a bed. At the same time, people like Charles Booth began to study poverty, discovering the problem was far worse and more widespread than anyone in power imagined. Booth's detailed maps showed that rich and poor London often lived side by side, revealing the extreme disparity and misery lurking beneath the city's grand surface. The real tension was whether the wealthiest city in the world would finally admit how badly it treated its millions of poorest citizens. The surprising truth is that most of the danger in Victorian London looked normal at the time. Dirty rooms, unsafe water, and desperate labor were just daily life. Slow changes followed: the new sewers, better understanding of disease, and reforms in housing and policing gradually improved life for Londoners. Victorian London was the most dangerous city in Britain, not because of one man, but because millions of ordinary people were constantly living on the edge of disaster.